My name is Wingrove Duverney, and I'm here today to present the Rational Team Concert. This is the IBM toolkit from Jazz platform. So let's begin. So today I'm going to be playing the role of both the Scrum Master and the developer. As a Scrum Master and both developer, I will be under the credentials of Digital Dover. So let's begin. As a Scrum Master, what I would like to be able to do is to be able to create a project area. So what we're going to try to do is go through this scenario. We're going to try to create a project area, add users to the project area license, create a timeline for the project, and create a plan and go through this whole scenario. Now, let me begin by saying the project area has already been created for me. Since this is a child version of the toolkit, I do not have the permission to create a project area. A project area is very similar to a project, except that it's undefined. There is no timeline, there is no iteration. So it's up to you as the user to create these definitions that's going to make it into a project. So it's basically like a sandbox that you create an area where you start adding definitions to it, and then it actually becomes like a project. So let's go through this scenario. Okay, first, we're going to go through all the project areas that was created. Okay, as I said in the beginning, a project area was created for me. In actuality, two of them was created for me, these two. These two are not particularly project areas, but what I'm going to be doing right now is from this project area, I'm actually going to create a timeline for the project and the iteration throughout the project. So let me go back a little bit. The Rational Team Concert is basically a toolkit that consists of three different tools. It's the quality management, it's requirements management, and it's change and configuration management. In particular, I'm going to be emphasizing on the change and configuration management. All of these three different tools can be linked together through a life cycle of a particular project. So let's begin. I'm going to be working through this project area that was created for me. All right, so from this project area, I can actually add members to it. I can begin by adding a member to that project area. Now, there's a database of users that's available from the Jazz toolkit that I'm just going to choose one member there just for illustration purposes. So I'm going to load up the database and just choose one member for illustration purposes. Let's choose something that it's not. Okay. Let's just choose one at random. Okay, it's I guess we'll choose also. And we're going to add that user to the project area. So once we click finish, this user should be added. Also is now been added to the project area. So I can create a timeline for that project. Remember, this is a project area where you actually is gonna start implementing a project. So you want to create a timeline for that. Initially, I had a timeline from October 14th of 2014 to the 27th. I'm gonna edit that just for illustration purposes. In actuality, I would actually create that timeline if it was the first time getting into the project area. But since I've been testing it, this is an initial timeline that I created. So we're just going to change the end date for the project. We're going to move it up to, say, a week or 5 days in advance. All right, so we've created a project area that is going to last from the 14th of October through to the 22nd of November. And we're going to save that. Now, the user that we added, normally it's prompting you to actually send an email to the user telling him that he's been added to that project area. But since I do not have his email, or this is not part of the illustration that I'm trying to show, we're not going to go through this. So now I can create a timeline, an iteration for that. I've already created a timeline. Now I can actually create an iteration for that. So these are the various iterations that I've created over time, just been getting used to the project. So I can create an iteration and call it my new iteration. And I can make it, let's say, 2 weeks. So the initial project started off at 10th of the 14th, or which is October the 14th. So 2 weeks from that should be approximately 14. That should be about the 28th. So let's go ahead and save that. So here it is. It's my new iteration. Actually, it's from 12 of 2014 to 12/15. Well, it's 2 weeks. So these are the roles and permissions that are available. These are the product owner, the scrum master, the team leader, and the stakeholder. All of these different roles, we're familiar with that as agile developers. The permissions, I do not have the permission to change any of these permissions. So we're not going to get into that. We're just going to look at the history of this project area. So this project area was changed on November the 4th at 11:34. It was also changed, the timeline was also changed on November the 20th. Actually, it was changed to November the 27th to November the 22nd. Okay, and one member was added today, November the 5th. Okay, so we're going to save this. And we can actually go back and create a team area for that project. So let's do that. I'm going to call it my new team. And we're going to add like one member, which is just for consistency, I'm going to add the same member that I added to the project area. So, which is Ozu. So let's add Ozu to the project area and then close. Now once we try to save that, we should have the same prompt to send an email, but we're not going to go through this. So now Ozu has been added to this new team that I created, which is my new team. Okay, so let's go to the project dashboard. So this is the project dashboard that we just created. And as you can see, membership has changed. My new team, which is basically a new team that was created, and it was created today. And these are the various changes that was made between the time I started testing the project until today. So let's start looking at the plans. So Rational Team Concept offers these various plans. So as a Scrum Master, I will be managing all of these plans. So Rational Team Concept makes it easy to navigate between these plans. So let's look at the release background. Now the sprint. So if we go to the links of that, we'll break them. Okay, so these are the various work items. Okay, these are the various work items that are assigned to different users. So what I wanted to show from all the plans was the sprint backlog. Basically, these are the work, and these are the different users. This is where each user can be assigned to a particular work. So from there, if we mouse over like one of the work items, we can see the owner of this item is DJ of Dover. So the owner is basically the person who's going to be working on that particular item. It was created by Harry Vesta. Actually, this is one of the administrators from the Jazz the Jazz toolkit. So they created this work item just for illustration purposes, and I own that item. They didn't assign it to me. I just assigned it to myself because as a developer, I will be working on it. But basically, it's the Scrum Master, which in that case was Harry Vetzer, who actually would create that work item and assign it to me. But since I'm playing the role of both developer and Scrum Master, those other work items, if you look at it, it was created by DJ Dover, which is me, the Scrum Master, and it's going to be owned by me, which is me, the developer. So what I'm going to do right now is create a new work item so we can go through the process of it. Okay, I'm just going to create a user story, just for example. So we can call that my user story. And we're going to create basically an effective date for that. So actually with the user story, there's no effective date. So I'm going to create one more work item. So we're going to have like 2 work items that we just created. Let's create like a UI component. So it's going to be my UI cen5011. Okay, so this is a new work item that I just created again. Now I can actually add an effective time for completing that work item. I'm going to make it 2 days. So this work item have been created, have not been assigned to any user yet. So what we can do right now with these work items is go ahead and assign it to a particular user. In this case, we're going to assign it to the developer. So we're going to assign it to DJ of Dover, who's playing the part of the developer. So we have my UI component, which is the work item we just created, is going to be assigned to DJ of Dover. And we're also going to assign this to DJ of Dover. So these 2 new work items has been assigned to DJ of Dover. So as a developer, DJ of Dover would be using the Eclipse client. So from there, once he logs in into the Eclipse client and he logs into the repository, he's going to see whatever new work item was assigned to him. So, okay, so these are a list of work items that's been assigned to the developer DJ of Dover. Once he logs into the repository from his client, which is the Eclipse client, he's going to see all the work items that's been assigned to him. So let's take a look at the 2 new work items which was assigned to him. The one we just created, which is my UI component. So if we look at this work item, once he as the user takes a look at it, he can see the estimated time for that is 2 days. He might disagree with that because he's the one who has to work on this work item. So he might say, okay, I believe this should take me 3 days to work on that. So he's going to make a correction for that. And he could decide that, okay, he's going to begin working on that first. He has a list of items. He could set this as his current working item. Okay. So we see that this was created on November the 5th, and which is today, and he's going to begin working on that. So this is a new work item. So he could actually see, I'm starting to work on that item right now. So he goes ahead and takes him 2 days, 3 days, he completes this work item, and he goes, we save this. So once he's completed with this work item, after say he said it going to take him like 3 days, he could complete that in 2 days, and then once he's finished, he would go to complete and save this. So this is done. Now he would go to the next work item or choose whichever the work item that he wanted to work on, and he could actually decide to start working on that item now. So because this is a user story, there is no particular timeline to it. So once he's completed this working item, he could click done just like we did and save. Now, if this, for example, the new UI working item that he was working on here, if he's completed with that, like he said he is, he will actually go to the pending changes, where if he's working on whatever the, let's say the problems from there, he can look at the code and he's finished working on the code for the UI item. He could go to pending changes and actually click on that, which would upload that to the repository, which would make it a newer version, a newer build of what we previously had. So this would take care of the clientele part of it. So the Scrum Master now can go back into the web portal and look at the dashboard for that. And he would see like where he is as far as the work items that he assigned. So actually, if we go back, I think it should be in the beginning. It should reflect. It should reflect that he's finished with the current work item that was assigned to him. So there it is, my UI working item. And as we mouse over that, you could see that it's no longer in progress, it's done. So this takes care of the work item that was assigned to him from the Scrum Master. So the Scrum Master can actually like keep up as to like the progress of what's going on with all of the work items that's been assigned to the developer. So again, this is an introduction to my tool. My name is Wingrove Duverney, and I'm presenting this tool as an agile tool for the class. Thank you.